the bowler's name, please. Oh, Rob.
Okay, so congratulations, CARICOM team. No, 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 we can do better than that. Congratulations, CARICOM team. All right. So now we're going to call on His Excellency Samuel Hines, Ambassador of Guyana and Chair of the CARICOM Caucus in Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much. It was a great day of cricket and a great day for our old colonial masters to come together. And it is even a greater day because we won. As colonial people, we won. And of course, those who are as old as I am would remember the famous 1950 test series with Ramadan and Palestine and so on and so on. But let me say thanks to the English team and let me reveal that I really thought they would have won against Ghana because they were scoring at one time something like 10 runs per over. And I almost gave up. I think even after we did our first 10 overs, we weren't doing so good. Someone next to me says, we got to make about 100 in the next 10 overs to win, and that doesn't look likely. But we made it. It has been a great day for fun, and I walked around and visited with many of our West Indian families who were out there. I think I saw one English family over in that corner there. So it was a great day, and I think we'll be doing it again next year. There are about a dozen cricketing countries having embassies there. So maybe next year we'll be back to maybe a tournament of about a dozen countries. Thank you very much.
Guyana Tapestry family, greetings. And you're seeing right, is cricket in the diaspora. The British CARICOM Embassies Cup was a friendly cricket match played between CARICOM Embassies and the British Embassy here in Washington, D.C. This was part of the celebrations around the T20 World Cup tournament being played currently in the West Indies and the United States from June 1st to June 29th. This year's games mark the 9th biannual tournament hosted by the International Cricket Council, the ICC, and contested by men's national cricket teams. This year's is actually the first major ICC tournament that features matches here in the United States, with 20 teams competing for this year's title. England is the current defending champions. The West Indies team actually just defeated New Zealand to qualify for the next stage, and the US team qualified for the next stage as well because its game with Ireland was rained out. So both the US and the West Indies teams advance to the next stage, and this is great, especially for the US team, because we don't normally see this much excitement around cricket here in the United States, right? For those of us, especially for those of us with Caribbean, West Indian heritage background, we know of the West Indies teams, we know of the games they play, so on and so forth. We know this is part of our heritage and culture, and we love the game, but not so much here in the United States. Now, cricket as a game has its origins in England, according to some reports from as early as the 15th and 16th century. Now, cricket is played and loved in many countries around the world, especially some of the former British colonies. In fact, the ICC was established in 1909 and currently reports 104 member countries. Still, this year's is the first major ICC tournament to feature matches here in the United States. And interestingly, Guyana Tapestry had an opportunity to talk with William Clark from the Embassy of Barbados, while at the friendly cricket match, the games between the CARICOM Embassies and the British Embassy. And William explained to Guyana Tapestry briefly why we were experiencing cricket here in the United States.
To the British CARICOM Cup. British CARICOM Embassies Cup.
I see.
Yeah, so that's something that we're looking to do to bring the spirit of West Indies cricket to America. As you know, cricket is being played in the USA and in the West Indies.
Yes.
Barbados is hosting the final.
Yes.
So we saw it as an important promotional event for us to really push cricket in the USA, given the market space it has right now.
Wonderful.
So we actually focused on getting the embassies together,
Yes.
and we had reached out to the British, and the British were more than able. As you know, England is the birthplace of cricket,
Right.
and you know, as a set of colonies ourselves, we practice the game.
Yes.
And I believe, given the World Cups in the region, the finals being played in Barbados is something that
This
we hold
year?
there this year. Yes.
Wonderful.
June 28th is the final.
This
yeah.
month then.
This month, yeah.
Right.
So
And
we're
this is
looking
the
to
T20.
T20 World Cup. Yes. please.
Wonderful. So please tell me your name.
William Clark, Embassy of Barbados.
You're from the Barbadian Embassy.
Embassy.
And so is the Bajan Embassy that's responsible for coordinating?
It's everyone. It's Barbados, there's Trinidad, there's Guyana, there's Kitts and Nevis, there's Trinidad, Tobago, there's Jamaica. Every Caribbean country is involved in this process.
And they have representatives on the
On the
team
team for every Caribbean country we have, yes.
as well.
According to Dr. Stuart Murray in the book Sports Diplomacy, Origins, Theory and Practice, sports diplomacy is a form of soft power. Sports diplomacy is a subfield of diplomatic studies and involves the strategic use of sports to bring people, nations, and institutions closer together via the shared love of physical sports. State and non-state actors use sports to build relationships, amplify messages, and advance strategic policies or objectives. And small island developing states, SIDS, like those in CARICOM, can hardly afford to leave any tools in their strategic and diplomatic toolkits unutilized. Since 1983, the Caribbean Basin Initiative, the CBI, has been the cornerstone of U.S. Caribbean economic engagement. The CBI consists of two trade programs for Caribbean and Central American countries and territories: the CARICOM Basin Economic Recovery Act, CBERA, and the U.S. Caribbean Basin Trade Partnership Act, CBTPA. Through this initiative, the United States aims to help strengthen the region's economic development and diversify its exports by extending foreign and direct investment to less traditional sectors. The CBI offers preferential trade and tariff waivers granting duty-free access to U.S. markets for goods from 17 countries in the Caribbean, among which Guyana finds herself. The U.S. also engages the region through the U.S. CARICOM Trade and Investment Council. The U.S. is the Caribbean's largest trading partner, and the CARICOM is the U.S.'s sixth largest trading partner, with annual trade in goods of some $35.3 billion flowing between the two. On average, the U.S. controls about 48% of the market for imported goods in the Caribbean. The U.S. remains a reliable ally with strong security and political interests in the region, and the United States Caribbean Strategic Engagement Act of 2016 sought to reaffirm this by increasing engagement with governments, private sector, and civil society in the region. The United States continues to be the Caribbean's main partner in security cooperation. There are 7 key U.S. military bases across the region as part of the U.S. Southern Command, SOUTHCOM, and security is a primary pillar of U.S. Caribbean 2020 strategy. Within this framework, the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative is a shared security partnership that supports anti-trafficking cooperation, crime prevention, and citizen security initiatives. Yet, in a 2021 article by the Center for Strategic and International Studies, the CSIS, entitled Reimagining the U.S. Strategy in the Caribbean, authors Rond Sandin and Doring recognize the Caribbean region now seems to be on the radar for more major powers, both state and non-state actors, and attributed some of this extra attention and activity in the region to a lack of consistent engagement from the United States in the region. They recommended that the United States reorients its long-term strategy in the Caribbean to emphasize the promising opportunities and identify diverse focal points of shared interests for engagement. From the standpoint of the Caribbean, most of which are heavily service and tourism dependent economies, cricket as part of the culture is on the table and most certainly on the market. Congratulations to the CARICOM Embassies team. They won the match, the friendly match. And a special thank you to the Guyana Embassy team for the opportunity to enjoy this cricket match in the diaspora. And especially for the delicious Guyanese food from Chef Kashif. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. If not, please forgive me, but thank you for the food. All right, and in closing, I would be remiss if I neglect to mention that this year the T20 World Cup tournament coincides with Caribbean American Heritage Month 2024, i.e. June month. Ever since June 2005, when the U.S. House of Representatives adopted a resolution sponsored by U.S. Congresswoman Barbara Lee, who represents the 12th Congressional District in California. The resolution recognizes the significance of Caribbean people and their descendants in the history and culture of the United States. So during the month of June every year, we celebrate the achievements and the contributions of millions of people of Caribbean origin who call the United States home. All right, so happy Caribbean American Heritage Month. Family, this is Guyana Tapestry, and we are telling Guyana's immigration story. Thank you again for the opportunity to share. Thank you for taking the time to check out the stories. We're continuing to move through, in, and across the diaspora, and in various ways showing you how Guyanese immigrants in particular and their descendants acculturate or assimilate to different cultures and communities when we emigrate from Guyana to other parts of the world. If you have not already done so, go to the YouTube channel right now, subscribe to the channel, and continue so we can continue to grow the Guyana Tapestry community. Tell another Guyanese, tell a friend, tell a family member about Guyana Tapestry and the great diaspora stories. And until the next story, this is Chico with Guyana Tapestry, and it's one love.